All right, it is 1:30. I will call to order this special city council meeting. Today's reason for having a special city council meeting is to finalize the information that we're going to be setting out to the public on the hiring of a new city administrator. The first item of business is to approve the city administrator advertisement for employment, including the starting salary range and benefit package. The Human Resources team met yesterday and has a recommendation. I will, if you look in your packet, you can see the recommendation and the price range that had came up yesterday. The city administration has the recommendation from the Human Resource yesterday, and it is to have a job pay range between 90 and 100,000. And then how they're going to advertise would be through the League of Minnesota Cities, LinkedIn, and all of the additional information that was in your packet. I would defer really quickly to the chair of the HR if he has anything to add on the advertisement and the salary range.
Basically, no. We met for about an hour yesterday, and we went through various options, and a packet was put together. And the main advertisement is through basic internet position or sites, along with the Daily Journal.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the city administrator advertisement for employment and the starting salary range and benefit package as outlined in the packet.
So move.
Motion by Councillor Deitch. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Councillor Holden. Discussion? Please.
Question. Human resource skills, is that going to be in the advertisement yet? Means it's not in the job description?
Where do you see that? I'm sorry.
Circle. Fourth row up in the bottom, on the right hand side of it.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, I believe we had discussion about that, and we decided to leave that in there because it's not necessarily that they're going to be managing human resources, but having that skill overall isn't a bad thing. And I mean, you can take certain skills preference over other skills, obviously, but just including it in there as yes, and in the job description that was taken out as far as being the human resource manager. Yes, you're correct.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0. And the second part is to approve the hiring process outlined by administration. And part A of that, and I'll take this in two separate motions, would be to establish a city administrator application review committee consisting of the entire city council. Chair would entertain a motion for that application review committee.
So move.
We have a motion by Councillor Deitch. We have a second.
I'll second it.
We have a second by Councillor Holden. Discussion? Again, the conversation yesterday was just the city administrator answers to the entire city council, so it makes sense for the entire city council to be part of that conversation as we're going through the hiring process. Yes?
And I would assume that those are closed meetings?
They are not closed meetings. They are open to the public.
Okay.
So to clarify, so because there are open meeting laws and League of Minnesota Cities outlines this very specifically in their guide to hiring a city administrator, they make clear note that the discussions on the discussion about going over the applications and the resumes and whatnot is all public. However, you can't name names. So when I compile all of the documents for yourselves to review over the weekend in private, confidentially, I'll be marking them candidate A, B, C, D. So when you meet on Monday, at the time I kind of referenced. Hopefully that'll work. You'll be referencing, using that, not using, he, she pronouns, using they, keeping everything really, you'll kind of have already had a good overview. You're just going to be coming back as a group discussing, how you ranked people.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? And thank you for that side note on that. I appreciate that. Hearing none, I'll call the question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion carries. Next is Part B, and this is directing the city attorney to prepare a draft city administrator employment agreement using the League of Minnesota Cities Administrator Model Employment Agreement as a guide. Chair would entertain a motion for that.
So move.
We have a motion by Councilor Deitch. Do we have a second? We have a second by Councilor Buller. Discussion? And the reason that we're looking at doing this is the HR committee felt it was important to have something ready to go in the event that we find a candidate. It may take some time to update because we haven't had this in the past. So we want to make sure that we are prepared with the documentation for hiring prior to finding a new city administrator. If we recall, the previous city administrator had his own lawyer write up the agreement for the city, and we would like to have one done by the League of Minnesota City and have it outlined by our attorney. So, hearing no other questions or concerns, I'll call the question.
Aye.
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 And I'll vote yes. Motion carries 5-0 with no other information unless anyone has something to bring up in regards to the search for a new city administrator. I will close this meeting. It is adjourned.